Hi, well, hello everyone. This is Jill Ellis at iResponse, and we are a couple of minutes before our start time, but we did want to make sure that you know that we're here. We're going to be on mute for a few moments, so we will get started on time. Hello again, this is Jill Ellis. So for those of you who have joined, welcome. We are right at our start time for our Strategic Value of the Guest Experience for Hotels and Resorts webinar. We're so glad that you're here today. We're looking forward to sharing this information. I know some individuals are still logging in. I can still see those numbers popping up, but we want to be respectful of time. So we're going to start moving forward here. And one quick housekeeping note. If you have any questions, comments, anything throughout the presentation, please feel free to type that in. There's a section called questions. There's a chat section. We'll keep an eye on that, especially if there's any technology issues going on. Sometimes we're not aware and you guys hear it before we do. Please put that information in. We have a place saved for questions at the end, but we encourage that feedback. So on the call today, I am joined by our leader, Rose Mentry. Rose has 40 plus years of hotel industry experience and really has a passion not only for our industry, but a passion for knowledge and really going out and looking at the information that's at our fingertips, but there's just a lot of it, but bringing that back, summarizing it and sharing it. And our hope is that you find that information inspirational, you do your own research, ask the questions, seek to understand, and let us know how we can help. And my name again is Jill Ellis. I've been in this industry about 25 years and very proud to be part of the iResponse team. So looking at our agenda, we're going to do a very quick just introduction of who we are, since we're kind of working virtually here. I know we have several of our clients on the call today, and we're so glad that you're here. And we have some individuals that we may not have had an opportunity to speak to yet. Then Rose is going to take us through a lot of the research and data where we're going to look at the U.S. source of business, the actual versus the forecast. We'll look at guest experience and what has changed. And in fact, Cornell University Center of Hospitality did a study, and they're going to we're going to share some information from that. We'll look at brand loyalty, point earning and OTA loyalty programs that are up and coming. We always like to throw in a little tidbit about what's new, so kind of latest news of what's happening with OTAs or even in the social media world, because it is a lot of information. We're going to want to do a quick summary, which is key takeaways. And of course, that open discussion piece that I had just mentioned. If you have questions, comments, please type those in. We're very interested in that and we'll be looking at it. So a little bit about who we are. So we are an organization that is created by hoteliers for hoteliers. That is our primary focus here. And you know, it's if you don't remember anything about us, we always like to say know that we have a heart to serve this industry. And we do that through the services that we offer that really just fall into 3 buckets. So the first one is monitor and respond to guest reviews and surveys. So this is the core of where our services started. Where we're really working alongside the hospitality, the hotel teams to respond and engage with those online comments and even the online surveys that are coming through your brands. Our services have evolved thanks to our clients' requests and needs and the changing demands of the industry. So we have an incredible team in place now that handles managing social media. We primarily like to focus on Facebook and Instagram, and they do everything from strategy to content creation, just a well-rounded approach to that. And then an up-and-coming space, which is really replying to those direct messages that are coming in through your Facebook and Instagram. Through the pandemic, we've seen quite a bit of increase in that. We see a lot of times that guests or future guests are going to want to type a message into you through your social media versus picking up the phone and calling you. So we're very proud to be able to step in and help our clients with that. And our client base, which is a little over 1,000 clients globally, spans all the major brands that you'll see here, plus independent properties, which we love, and we have several restaurants and some up-and-comers in the RV resort space. And that is just a little bit about who we are. And now I'm going to invite Rose into the conversation to get into the meat of our content here. Rose?
Thank you, Jill, and thank you everyone for joining our webinar this afternoon. We're going to start by looking at the hotel's actual and forecasted sources of business for 2019 and beyond. So what actually happened and then what they're projecting is going to happen. This was presented by Colibri Labs with input from CBRE. We see clearly that the rack bar, represented in the dark blue, will reach the 2019 numbers by year-end 2022. Bookings through LNRs and OTAs will take a little longer, though, to reach the 2019 numbers, and not until the year-end of 2023 is what they're expecting. It's clear to see that the corporate transient in pink and group segments in orange, which we already know and feel at the hotels, are growing slower in pace than the rack bar, promo LNR, and OTAs in revenues. Seems this trend will continue through 2023. It is noteworthy that OTAs are going to be playing a big role in recovery with their projected year-over-year continual growth, revenue growth on the chart that you see. And then for the hotels that do rely on corporate transient and group business, it is going to be imperative to replace this lost revenue, obviously, with other resources. Here's a look at the demand in another way to truly understand what the corporate and group gap looks like. This chart was again produced by the Colibri Labs for the US market only, and what transpired in March of 2020 and what has continued till last month, 2021. As we see and know, bookings dropped by 67% immediately in March of 2020 and is continuing at a 50% of historical levels. The bigger picture, though, is again the lack of corporate and group bookings, and them remaining to be the biggest gap in a recovery stage. Hoping with the mandates relaxed, companies will feel more confident to go back to business as usual, hopefully sooner than later than what they're projecting of 2023. So when looking at the most affected hotel categories due to COVID were top 25 markets, urban downtown locations, luxury upper upscale hotels, and group hotels with primarily midweek business. And the least affected hotel categories were smaller and rural markets, rural interstate locations, and economy and mid-scale classes. So with this shortfall of corporate transient and group business flattening and not growing, we not have to increase reliance on leisure travel. We also need to really understand if the consumer purchasing behavior has changed from 2019 to 2021 and what type of impact it can deliver for our future hotel successes. eMarketers has concluded this study on just that and has revealed that consumers' expectation around experience have changed rapidly from 2019 to 2021. While many hotels and resorts are making progress with their stay safe efforts, still finding the talent as well to keep up with the fluctuating occupancies, more and more are struggling to consistently deliver the best possible guest experience. We at iResponse currently are seeing the yellow zone conversations are flat to 2019. However, our red zones has increased by 7 to 8% per hotel. So it's definitely happening. I am so sorry about that. So here are the statistics of their behavior changes on how their future purchasing decisions are being made. Still working from home. I'm so sorry about that. So 43% of the consumers in North America have stopped doing business with a company because the business did a poor job versus 25% in 2019. And it's a huge increase of 18% in 2 years. 71% of the internet users worldwide who have had a bad experience stated that they decided never to do business with that company again. And 94% of the US adult consumers said they were very likely to purchase more from a company providing great customer service. And here's the bottom line. When it comes to the value of the customer experience, and in their own words, they said that there are two things working against brands today: competitive sprawl, which has always been there, and erosion of loyalty. Customers now, or consumers, or our guests know that when one experience falls short, a new and better option is typically around the corner. So good customers are expensive to replace, as we know. So great customer service is the key. As hoteliers, we are always looking at RGS scores to ensure that we are on the right track, or assess if we need to make changes to get back on the right track. Thankfully, the Cornell Center of Hospitality was also interested in the subject, and they completed 2 studies in mid-2020 concerning guest stay satisfaction. They were interested in seeing if it has changed any due to the physical separated world and its direct impact on hotels' success in today's market. So here are their key takeaways from Professor Anderson and Assistant Professor Hans's research. So study 1, it was more of educational for them. They included review collection through guest satisfaction surveys, and they concluded that it provides a representative set of reviews. It avoids non-response bias. It enables private post-stay communication between hotel management and guests. Hotels can send personalized apologies to dissatisfied customers, which leads to increased satisfaction in future stays. And a simple thank you executed quickly following feedback results in increased likelihood that the guests will share their satisfaction with others by posting an online review after their next stay. So this first part of the study, we as hoteliers kind of knew it. Now the study 2 included deeper look at the GS data, and they actually used a 3-year sample. So it included 2018, 19, and 2020. The future guest satisfaction. The results show that acknowledgement of service failures with personalized and detailed apologies helps improve guest satisfaction of future stays. Propensity to show reviews online. A quick thank you from the hotel, again, it's the same thing, increase the likelihood that the guests will share a review online after their next stay. In comparison, an overly detailed thank you, which this is very important here, may deter the guests from sharing future reviews. And these are on positive reviews. Loyalty, positive or negative feedback provided by guests signals a willingness to engage with the brand and increase the probability of them becoming loyal by almost 50%, which is pretty big. If management responds to guests' feedback, there's a further increase in probability of them becoming loyal. Now, this is another, this last point is a big one, I thought, booking channel choice. Probably the most important one, that they confirm that, again, looking at 3 years, OTA commission savings from direct bookers are further increased by approximately 5% through engagement with guests through a GS. So responding to reviews, positive or negative, shifts booking share from OTAs to hotels direct. They concluded that in today's physical separated world of hospitality, engagement and interaction between hoteliers and guests are taking new forms, but are still as critical as ever. So this takes us to looking deeper into how guest reviews are influencing today's transient hotel bookings and what we should be paying attention to on a daily basis. So the first, let's review the chart on the top left, impact of responding versus not responding. Hotels responding to 0% of their guest reviews earn 10% less in revenue. And study also showed that hotels responding to more than 25% of their guest reviews earn, on an average, 180,000 more each year than their competitors. Looking at next the impact of recent reviews versus older reviews, which is the chart on the bottom left, it shows that hotels with more recent reviews increased revenue by 30%. In addition, hotels that did not have more current reviews lost 20% in revenue. So in short, newer versus older reviews can skew the bottom line by around 50% of online bookings. And it doesn't necessarily have to be online. It could be also through your hotel website direct as well. Hotels that obtained as little as 1 to 8 new reviews earn 31% more revenue than the ones with no new reviews. And hotels that consistently receive 25 or more fresh reviews earn 41% more in revenue. And the last point was, according to their findings, the impact of hotels' online rating, which is the right-hand side, hotels continue to be more sensitive to negative ratings than any other industry. And that's taking into considerations about 12 other industries in comparison. And we also see that hotels with ratings between 3.5 and 4.5 earn far more than any other group on that chart. Oddly enough, hotels with a higher rating than 4.5 earn less. Now, after last week's webinar, we were actually asked how this can be. And simply, it is due to the consumer's expectation that not every hotel can be that perfect. And having neutral and negative feedback is considered to be more believable and reliable. Therefore, they trust the rankings of a hotel lower than 4.5 than closer to 5. And 70% of individuals use filter ratings when they're online, and 35% of them use the rating filter at 4 stars or higher. So the sweetest spot is obviously to be between 3.5 and 4.5%, or rating, I should say, to really see the positive impact for online bookings. The Cornell study did emphasize in keeping your existing loyalty members and having them book through your hotel channels will save you 5% in commission fees. So we also know that the battle is still on with the OTAs coming into this loyalty arena and their increased efforts in growing their loyalty members. So can and will OTA loyalty programs gain traction with travelers who may already hold multiple air and or hotel loyalty memberships? So Focusrite completed a new study based on age group and different ways they choose to earn points and how they perform in comparison. The good news is that currently 89% of US travelers belong to either airline, hotel, online travel agency loyalty programs. So this is still very important in our industry. Non-pandemic times, they looked at the performance, and 56% of US travelers took more than 2 leisure trips a year. 59% of the loyalty members took more than 2 leisure trips annually, shorter trips, but a lot more trips. 51% of the loyalty members also hold credit cards that are tied to the brand loyalty member to earn more points. 29% of them have both a travel branded card like Marriott Bonvoy Boundless Visa and travel redemption cards which reward travel-related purchases and offer travel redemption options with no tie to a single travel brand, and also offer other travel benefits such as the lounge access, preferred rates, and so on. 35 to 54-year-olds on this chart are more interested in earning their points, not just through their loyalty membership though, of a hotel, but also with simultaneous earnings on their credit card affiliated with the brand and travel redemption cards. So they're more in tune to how quickly they could build up their points faster. Expedia is trying to entice travelers to belong to Expedia Rewards program and subscribe for an Expedia Rewards card from Citi to guarantee travelers to book through their channels. Remember, they're actually targeting 25+ million Expedia platform users annually to join in their program. So we need to be more diligent, more than ever, to keep our loyalty guests close to us and also keep signing up non-loyal program guest members to sign up before they leave the hotel. And in addition, learning from the past guest surveys and online comments and making positive changes when warranted for future guest satisfaction will definitely assure that we keep our loyalty member bookings direct through our hotel channels. So moving on, we always like to share the latest news, if any, regarding OTAs and or social media channels. And I'm turning it back over to Jill to share with us as to what is new. Jill?
Thanks so much, Rose. And I did notice that we've had some additional people join since we started. Wanted to welcome you and also mention in the comments section questions, type anything in there, and we're going to look at that at the end. So first up, we're going to look at Expedia Group. They have decided to rebrand the principal brand, which is Expedia.com, and they're really doing this to capture more travel demand. They even have a new slogan, "It matters who you travel with." So here are just a few of the highlights of what the brand, this rebrand entails. So we know that they've conducted in-depth consumer research. They want to understand and address critical traveler pain points that they're experiencing, and they want to help maximize the time and experience when booking travel. So they have refreshed the mobile app and website. You'll see a new home screen layouts, and now you have the ability to purchase flights, lodging, cars, and activities all on a single platform. And increasingly, you're going to hear that single platform is becoming a key turning point for most of these OTAs. So a new itinerary experience will allow travelers to see all the details of their trip in one place. And that could be on the app or on the web. They can now pause and come back to searches. And so there's that feature is called Keep Planning feature. And so also a first for the travel industry in this rebrand is that consumers can now shop by lodging amenities in a side-by-side comparison. If you remember previously, amenities included with each room rate were bundled, but now there's a lot more transparency into exactly what they're paying for. Travelers also see popular activities near their hotel, which of course they can purchase those activities after they book a room or during their trip. And so they really have made it easier also for travelers to sign up for the rewards loyalty program. So all that information that Rose was sharing coming out of the Cornell study, the competition is on to get loyalty from these travelers because as we know, they have about 25 million of their users that are not yet enrolled. Next up is the launch of Tripadvisor Plus. We have actually touched on this in previous webinars back in the fall. It was called a traveler subscription program at that time. So a few details and kind of update of where they are with that. So the beta launched last December, and it is now open to hotels worldwide. And so this is going to provide hotels and bed and breakfast with another channel to the market. So it offers additional visibility for, again, accommodation players that participate, as well as reduced distribution costs compared to the traditional commission fees. So properties signing up to Tripadvisor Plus will receive badges, increased visibility on the Tripadvisor platform, and it will begin to highlight them from the competition, hence helping to attract bookings. In their research, they show that hotels that signed up to Tripadvisor Plus received 20% more click to their property page on that platform. So for hoteliers and bed and breakfast accommodations, there's no cost for this to join that and to engage with it. But travelers sign up for an annual membership fee of $99, and they get access to savings as well as other offers with that. And lastly, Google has announced that they're eliminating fees for hotel booking links. So this initiative really started with Google Flights by eliminating fees for referral links to airlines and OTAs. And this was around January 2020. And about mid-2020, testing of this new format for the hotel booking links with some of its partners actually showed that they could get increased traffic and engagement from both individual hotels and the OTAs. So basically what this is doing is it's lowering the barriers to entry. Hoteliers are able to not only grow their direct bookings and revenue, but it also will give you more control over your guest online booking experience each and every time. So the ranking of hotel organic search results will be based on an algorithm, and it's going to consider things such as prices, click-through rates, landing page experience, but this is all without that commercial relationship, so that advertising and payment to Google, which is a big shift. One challenge with providing an organic list of links is ensuring pricing information is accurate. So Google is going to use a similar combination of technological and operational solutions that it's been using for several years to ensure rates that are displayed are valid. However, we would highly recommend that you spot check to make sure your rates are being posted accurately, because it is 100% in the whole entire industry's interest to make sure that pricing is correct, but because the last thing you want is to a user to click through and get a different rate than what Google is promoting, and it's going to look like a bait and switch, which is going to be a terrible user experience. So we have a little bit of responsibility in making sure that that information is accurate. And we are at the end here. As I mentioned in our agenda, we always like to kind of wrap up with a summary of key takeaways. Again, a lot of information coming at you, give you an opportunity to add any questions at this time or even comments. We welcome that. So first up, corporate demand continues at only 50% of historical levels. We're seeing that consistently across reporting mechanisms. We know that OTAs will play a significant role in recovery for properties, and this is the year-over-year revenue growth through 2023. No surprise, consumer expectations have changed from 2019 to 2021. Guests are demanding a consistent, personalized experience, and the competition and sprawl and erosion of loyalty are working against the brands right now. Cornell University's study indicated that due to today's physically separated world of hospitality, it's critical as ever for hoteliers to engage and interact with your guest. And we know that that's really at the heart of hospitality, but a lot of the separation and distancing has made some of that challenging, and the way you engage has significantly shifted. Loyalty program members are advocates, and we know they book direct. So continuing to learn from your guest reviews and surveys and making positive changes for future guest satisfaction will be vital in keeping these bookings direct. So it's, again, the same things that are back to the basics of hospitality, but just looking at that information and putting it into action. And then positive or negative feedback provided by guests really is a signal. It's a willingness to engage with the brand, and it increases the probability of that guest becoming loyal by almost 50%. So engagement is good. If they're willing to get out there and try to communicate with you through an online channel, it is in your best interest to engage in that conversation in the space and terms that they're looking for. So Expedia's rebrand and the relaunch of Tripadvisor Plus may capture some of your hotel's travel demand. And then the elimination of fees by Google Travel for hotel links should help improve hotel direct booking revenue. And so that wraps up the summary. And Rose, I'm gonna let you look. I don't think I see any questions right now.
No, there are no questions. However, on your screen, you will see our contact information. So if you think of anything, or if you're interested in our services, obviously, please get a hold of us, either Jill or myself, and we could help you with that. And thank you again for joining. And next webinar is going to be in August, and that's going to be based on 2022. I can't believe that, 22. Yeah. Business plan time. So we'll be looking at the STAR forecast, what they're projecting, and what to expect really in 22, and how everything is, proceeding with all these different market segments that we just looked at. And is it true that group and corporates are coming back? So we'll be touching base on a lot of things that will be useful for you for your business plans and marketing plans. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you.